Hey YouTube, it's Jimmy Alice, aka J Elizabeth, and I have to give this message because um, I had to learn this interesting way. So, the point of people like doing videos or living their life publicly is honestly to help others learn from their mistakes. So, there's a woman named Christian, I think that's her name, and she's dating that rapper. Don't remember his name. She got his face tattooed on her hair, and I believe here also. Now I just saw a video of her pre him, and like she was a little bit younger, and she was happy and joyful, and clearly she came from like taking care of a lot of self care, a lot of upkeep at least physically. I don't know about mentally because we all have our own background, we all have our own upbringing. But she chose to get involved with someone who didn't really intend to just be involved with her, and it doesn't look like her life has went in a way that I'm sure that younger version of her would have preferred. The money, the taken care of, the well kept part, probably that's probably where she was trying to go. And she didn't set boundaries on uh, her manifestation, because all of your goals are manifestations, all of your plans are manifestations, all of your thoughts are manifestations. All the things you don't heal will manifest something, all the things you have healed will manifest something, things like that. I just happen to pay attention to my life. And with her, it's very clear that the message of the day is don't overextend yourself, because settling and overextending yourself could probably fit in the same realm. What is overextending yourself in my life? So, in my life, over these past couple months, I've been to London, Italy, a couple of states in the States, and I realized I was denying myself luxury on behalf of the guys I was dating. And it's because well, let's just put it out there in the open. I am bougie. I like luxury. I love luxury. And when I was in London, it was nothing but luxury, but I couldn't enjoy it because of comments and remarks that I got from someone I was dating, and I was overextending their expectations on their life. So I attempted to date people that are not, they don't prioritize luxury, they don't prioritize um, pleasure, they don't prioritize the things that I prioritize, even good conversation for some parts, some of them. And I went for, and because of that, it was like it was a codependent era where I felt like, I had to have partnership in order to thrive, in order to be somewhere in life. Meaning, like, I also wanted a cheerleader. I thought I wanted a cheerleader. But what comes with a cheerleader is somebody you kind of have to bring up. You kind of have to raise them to the standards you need and then let them cheer you on. Void of like their fears, void of like their insecurities, void of like their stresses and stuff like that. And I realized you can't create puppets. So, on behalf of myself and behalf of them, I just stopped dating people like that. And it I was talking to my sister, and she was like, it's like you have this meter, this discriminatory meter, and you kind of judge people based on kind of first impression. And I don't think people understand that that's life. And I also can't overextend myself to care on everybody's behalf just because someone that I love or someone that I respect, my sister, does. And I think when people start getting more discriminatory, one, it'll help other people level up. And two, it'll help you not have to feel overextended. Like, I, it was very difficult dating people that were like, no, you're way too expansive. Like, no, you're doing too much. Or like, didn't like that I wanted to make plans for the future. Or like, didn't, one guy asked me to buy him 2K. Too much. That's too much for me personally. That's just too much. No. The other guy that approached me was saying, and this is when I had no boundaries. The other guy approached me and said, what did he say? He sells iPhones, MacBooks, iPads. This is the first thing he said to me. He's trying to give a good impression, and I appreciate that about him. He sells this, and he wants to give me drugs and $150 and free Uber rides and all this stuff. And I'm appreciative of all of that, but I didn't know his name. I didn't know what he wanted. He just want to give me stuff, and then he's like, well, I want to be your boyfriend. I'm becoming an actor, and this. And I was like, okay, he's coming on very strong. That's cool, but when I realized he had no depth, that was probably the peak of his conversation. He just gave it all in the beginning instead of like waiting to like trick you in the after the what are you doing text or hey, good morning beautiful, and nothing else. I appreciated that he gave all of that in the beginning so that I could say, I don't do drugs, sorry, and I'm not really interested in this. The vibe is a little off. So if you feel like the vibe is off, say something, because maybe there could be an alteration. Maybe that's not overextending yourself. But if you expect someone who doesn't respect therapy, doesn't respect presentation, can't have a deep conversation to just alter themselves for you, you're tripping, and you're asking them to overextend themselves. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was tripping. So I just want to apologize to all the guys that I was dating for kind of trying to force you to overextend yourself. Because now a guy who does have his shit together and does also prioritize the same things that I prioritize is one, coming in the right ways, talking my language, let's just say, is not overextending, and it feels brand new again. So now I am recalibrating myself from being this all-inclusive person back to I'm not overextending myself. So when the offers come on the street, if I'm like taking a walk and the guy with the cigarette came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I talk to you really quick?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, sure. What's up? What's your name?" And I'm like, "Why?" Because you just wanted to, like, I'm not trying to coach anybody on how to approach me. I'm just saying, know thyself. And then don't overextend thyself. Because you are genuinely all you have in this world. I don't think there's anything wrong with having standards. And I know there's nothing wrong with having standards because you can have whatever you want. If you want to, when I was in London, I wasn't even able to appreciate all the luxury that I was in because I was trying to lower my standards. And that's overextending yourself. Like, no, I'm in this range, and trying to pull myself into this range is ridiculous. So now I have to reground myself into this range. And it's simple, it's easy, it's fine. If you want me to talk more about grounding yourself into a new reality, I'll talk about that tomorrow. But don't overextend yourself to make other people feel comfortable around you. Does that make sense? If someone's coming into your energy, if someone's coming to you, then that means they have some type of comfort. And if they can't keep up, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to keep people on your team. As I just told someone who was asking me if we could start talking again. Like, no, I'm not a therapist. I'm not I'm not a therapist. I do astrology. I'll let you know that you're having your Saturn return right now, and I know it's a little difficult, but a therapist will help. And I know Pluto is conjunct your North Node, and that's even more difficult because it's calling you into your purpose in life, and it's calling you to be a leader and share your thoughts. And I know that could be scary. I know that could be this, and I know that could be that. But if you're truly not interested, I'm not a inspiration pet. I'm not a pet that you keep in your pocket. Like, no, create peace in your life without me. Like, I'm not, that's, I'm fine with being inspiration. Oh, sorry. I'm fine with being inspiration, but I'm not fine with being like held captive or drained. No, that's not happening. So, that is what I wanted to talk about today. Don't overextend yourself. And I know this is coming from a different standpoint of like overextending yourself. Like, just say no to some people. Another guy was like, it's like, and then when people say no, overthink it. Don't just take it to the head. Be like, so I wonder what went down there. Was what about me is a no for them. So if you're not interested in your self-care, if you're not interested in yourself at all, like you're not doing any type of self-development, if you're not doing any type of self-improvement, I don't understand why someone thought. But at the same time, if you lack boundaries, someone who smokes Newports in 2022 will probably think it's okay to speak to you. And I remember some guy was telling me, and I took his opinion to heart, and I took his opinion really, really seriously because I respect him. He said, you should be for people. And I am for people. I am for people living in their standard of living. And if mine just happens to be different, don't think it's better, especially if you're not interested in that. But if you're interested in that, then do what it needs to do, what it takes to get there. It's not difficult, it's just a decision. And he was saying, like, you should be more of a people person. And it's like, no. I love people. I truly love people. I love that people have their own right to choose. And I probably love that because of myself, my own right to choose. And I respect people's right to choose. I had opportunities to be broke, chose not to. I had opportunities to be homeless, chose not to. I had opportunities to be in a relationship with a guy who was trying to beat me up all the time, chose not to. So I respect people's choice. I respect people's decisions in life. And I also respect that people can alter those. One, if it's too difficult with magic. Two, if it's too easy, then just easily. But be around who you want to be like. And I'm not saying you have to aim high, because the people that are on your level are also valuable. Some of them have that same hunger. So I'm going to stick to the friends that I made when I was in my extreme bougie era. I'm going to stick to the mindsets that are beneficial to me, and I prioritize enjoyment of life. I don't want to do anything else. It just doesn't make sense to me, for me, because I tried it and it's overextending myself. So I'm no longer overextending myself. And it's beneficial because if you stop overextending yourself, life gets less hard, and you won't have to feel ungrounded, and you won't feel stretched, and you won't feel taken advantage of, and you won't feel like life is hard. If you're around people that don't believe in you, you're overextending yourself, because now you're trying to get them to believe in you, and you're trying to believe in you. Like, what the how? If you're trying to fight depression and you're around a bunch of depressed people, now you're trying to get them out of depression and yourself. How? That's overextending yourself. You cannot take care of other people and yourself. That's why independence is important. You can have like a little dab of codependency. Think of the yin yang circle, like codependent, dependent, or independent, and then that little circle in between, like a little bit, like to root you in to reality. But don't feel like you have to overextend yourself just to fit in with people you won't even like. That's all. All right, later, guys. Bye.